Hey, what's up? This is Dilio coming to you with another video. This is Dilio representing DilioT2K.com. Please make sure to visit DilioT2K.com. And this video is going to be a introduction and reintroduction to FL Studio. I used to do a lot of FL Studio tutorials back in the day, and we're going to go back to the basics because a lot has changed since many years ago. And you know, I'm doing this for some friends of mine and those who are interested. So if you're in a rush, this is not the video for you. We're going to go into depth. We're going to talk about it like we don't know anything about it. Or if you're the viewer who wants to learn about it, doesn't know anything about it, we're going to go into depth. We're going to really try our best to move expeditiously, but, you know, still be in depth. So, yeah. So on the left side, we've got our browser. We got the grid here with 16 steps. We got our transport controls. These different icons can open up the things like the playlist and stuff like that. Plugin picker, video tempo tapper, or view tempo tapper. So right there, you can click that and tap your tempo like that. And it'll change right here in the tempo. This is your tempo speed time. I like this because you can change it to beats or bars per second or minutes per second or bars. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the basics. And one of the things I like to do before I do anything else is go to File and New Template and Empty. New Template, Minimal, Empty. If I were to click on Club Basic with that template there, now we have a quick little where we can add stuff, right? And we're already there. And you can just add stuff in. But we don't want to do all that. So File, New Template, Empty. I always like to start off with nothing and then go from there. So in here we have samplers, and you can also have plugins and stuff like that. This is really cool. And then if you hit plus, you get a list of plugins you can add in there. So let's add some drum sounds. In order to do that, we go to the browser, and you can customize this list with your own samples right there, which is what mine is right there. But we're going to use some sounds you may have on your copy of FL Studio, and we're just going to click in some sounds that I kind of know are good. And just add some sounds. And you can just click and drag them on there and notice how quickly they're in there. Don't have to think about it. So now that we have a few drum sounds in here, let's talk about this step right here. You have 16 steps. 16 steps represents one beat or one bar in this scenario. And if I were to right click and hit fill each 4, it's going to automatically put in a 4-bar loop or a beat on every 4th step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another beat right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to go every 2 steps, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 8. Right there, you can rotate it right or rotate it left. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff. So if I had like kind of a weird pattern here, if I were to right click on it, you get this mini menu here. Rotate right, and it's going to rotate it right 1 step. You click left on this block to expose the sampler, and let's talk about this grid, and then we're going to talk about the sampler. So that's the grid. You get 16 steps. If you want to extend, and this grid represents pattern 1. So obviously if I go up to pattern 2, this disappears because we're now looking at pattern 2. This represents the pattern that you're looking at. This is very important. Also keep in mind that for later on, if you want to make your whole beat into one pattern, there is an option to split them all into their own patterns, everything you do in here into their own pattern, in which you can then start adding into this playlist editor here. But we're just going to do basic song arrangement, but we'll get to that. So for instance, so let's make a beat. So I'm just going to make a simple beat, some simple fire flame, right? But we got to make sure the tempo's down to 90. So let's bring it down to 90. You can click and drag that, change the tempo. All right, so I like that. And I want to make those hi-hats come in on every second step. Yeah, and boom, you have a beat right there. And that's basically it. So, but say if you want to extend that pattern, well, there's a couple of ways to do that. You can either clone the pattern, and now you have the same pattern on pattern 2, and now, or you can do it this way. Click on the right side of that box and drag it out till you see another 16 steps appear. Then we can do that again. 2, boom, 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 boom. And I like to say it out loud so I know what I'm doing. And we could just click on those same clicks, those same steps, and activate them. Let's play what we got. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that you can adjust different things like swing. So if I add swing, let's listen. That's pretty simple right there. So now I can do that and hit the hit this arranger right here. So let's take a bookmark right there. So again, each one of these you can right click and you can do different things. You can rotate right, rotate left, select where you want to get MIDI notes from. All these different icons. Let's change the color. Let's make this one red. Let's make this one you know, yellow. Let's make this one blue. And these are just, I'm just showing you some of the options you can do to kind of help you better identify what these are. And that's a hat. So let's see if we have a hat symbol here. Let's just put a smiley there. So now we got a little smiley there. How cool is that? Also, one thing I want you to know about this grid here is that number 1 represents the mixer track that it goes to. So if I were to click and drag this to 2, well, 2, click this, drag this to 3. Now, on the mixer, we haven't even got to the mixer yet, but just to show you, we have the kick drum, the snare on track 2, and the insert on track 3. All right, but let's talk about the sampler. And then we'll get back to arranging the songs, and then we'll talk about assigning it to a mix. With no number represented, it's just going to come out to your master output. And some things to consider for that is you can select your drivers here. I'm using FL Studio ASIO, and I have OBS or OBX capturing that audio. But that's cool. You can add an icon there. So let's add a little something else in there, like a MIDI thing. That's cool. That's fun. So again, let's talk about the sampler. Let's keep it moving. Now in the sampler, we have some options: pre-computed effects, reverse. You can't automate that though. I don't think you can automate that. You can declick right there if you want to. I normally don't. You can normalize it automatically. Take your radio, deset, fade, stereo. So what happens is this, and I know I'm recording stereo, but you get to hear the audio sample go from left to right. That's a cool option. If you want to swap it, now it's fading the other way. And you got different stuff here. You can trim there, trim off the back, pogo, kind of a weird effect there. I normally don't use it. You can fade in that sample and fade out. Make it real tight there. Inside the sampler you have panning you can change. You can apply LFO to that. That's a little bit more advanced than what we'll talk about today. Filters, envelopes there. To activate them, you highlight that and the envelope is active. You know, but we'll talk about that in further detail. Mod X, Mod Y. Mod X affects this filter thing here. Mod Y affects the resonance or emphasis of the filter. You got different filter options here. I'm not going to go into that right now. And pitch. So if you want to change the pitch, you can do that here. Each one of these figures have LFOs so you can apply to them that are tempo based and are global tempo based as well. So that's something to keep in mind. And also this keyboard here represents the main note that you press. So, for example, if I right-click C4, notice that it goes higher. And if I go C6, reset to come back. You can fine-tune that sample there by changing the slider up and down like that. Other things you can add. Look at all these options you got for the sampler. If you want to add delay, you can. But it's not an audible delay, it's more of a MIDI bass. Oh, that's a cool effect right there. And I mean, you can really do a lot of stuff. You can change polyphony, pan, volume. You can do cutoff groups. This is good for hi-hat stuff. We'll talk about that maybe in another video. Just out of those keep things on. Then you got a arpeggiator right here you can activate. It will not do anything with that X, but if you hit up, it'll change it in key. So that's that right there. So let's talk about song arrangement. And I think that'll conclude the video for today for this FL Studio reintroduction chat. So I want to go to the playlist, and if I hit this pencil here, we should have a perfect 32 beat or 2 measure pattern right here. If I hit play, and to make sure you go into the playlist, you have to deactivate this. A highlighted arrow here represents pattern mode, which means I'm just going to play this pattern. And song mode, when you unclick that, represents this playlist. But also, we have to kind of get rid of these effects that I got here. So with that being said, let's make sure I'm not doing anything crazy here. And see, I got the echo there. Arpeggiator is activated, all this crap. Let's get that out of there. Let's add other stuff. So we're there. We're in there. We're making the beat on there. You can do different things like that. You can go, and don't worry, you can get more intricate as far as your rhythms. I know it seems like it's real confined to be just in 16th notes, but we can do more than that. So when you drag this arrow here, you get to kind of shrink it down. And you know, I'm just going to add this. And then a cool trick I'm going to do is I'm going to go in on that last bar there and do it as a break right here. And I know that there's information right here. So I can click this razor and I can chop it right there. Control Z to undo that. And if I want to get more intricate, notice how we have more lines on the screen now. I'm going to click that right there and make a little break. So now when we hear it, so here it comes, 1, 2, and stop. Well, I messed it up right there. So if I were to come back and let that pattern, see, so once it runs out of data right here, if you don't have anything else coming along the pattern, we're back at the beginning. So I'll just click another pattern there and play that for you again. Notice that break there. And we didn't do anything destructive to this pattern. We just chopped out the information right there. So let's add some more to it. Let's add a melody. So I'm going to use massive, right? Gonna load up massive. And let's find a little preset in massive that we can use. That's pretty easy to use. So here we are. So we got a love lead. This isn't a chemical sound. I do have some chemical sounds in there. Let's see here. Yeah, I got chemicals right here. So let's go ahead and use one of my sounds from Khemikals. Pluck 24 right there. So, and we're going to talk about the mixer too as well. I mean, it can get pretty lengthy, but let's go ahead and add this right here. So if I add, right click there, we're going to play automatically default to C4. So let's add to that. Let's change that melody. To change it, you have to right click and go to piano roll. As you can see, we have notes here on piano roll. That's right click, piano roll. And I'm just making up a melody by clicking these notes. And what you gotta make sure is that your steps are aligned properly, or you will screw up big time, or it'll play in a different timing. So we're still using the standard steps grid, and I'm just making a note. So let's say I want that melody to continue, but I don't feel like playing it all that time. Well, that's the power of creating things on the piano roll. And we can do it again. Do it again. Right? So we just made a melody. Right? But let's say I want to add that as a separate pattern. So I don't want it to play. So I don't want it to play on the first pattern. I'm going to make it play on the second pattern. So, and remember that we already had something on that pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that, Control X to cut. Let's go to pattern 3 and put that melody back there. And let's go back to the arranger. And let's say we want that melody to come in right there. Boom. Okay. And it's going to come back to the beginning. So watch this. Just the beat by itself. Then with the melody we did on pattern 3. Right? Even so, we can continue there. We can let the beat go there like that. And make sure that your grid is on step or bar or events. It kind of helps keeps everything in perfect alignment. And right there. So we've done that. Now let's go to the mixer, and then we'll be done for today. Now the mixer has, I mean, look how many channels it has. It has probably more channels than you need. I'm at 99 channels. If you need more than 99 channels, let me know. And that brings me to the mixer. So each mixer has a channel. Each channel has 10 inserts, and also you can add sends as well. There's more to the mixer there, but we're just going to go over it briefly. So each one of these defaults to the main output. How do I know this? Well, I'll show you. So let's look at this. Let's look at this and stretch it out. So as you can see, each one has, well, I'll maximize it back up so we can see it better. But if you notice, each channel has a little output there, and that's going to the main master bus right there. And each one of these can be changed. See, I can highlight that and send it over there, or send it to the main bus, however I want to do it. So you can do it all kinds of ways and stuff, but we don't really want it to do that, but I'll keep it moving. So again, you can change where each channel sends to by selecting a specific output, and also you can route it here as well. So if I'm on channel 1 here and I click that icon, if I want to route it to channel 44, you can sidechain to channel 44. You can talk about how much you want sending over there, but that's for later on. So if I hit play, notice how nothing is going on the channels. Channel 1, drag this up, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. Okay? Now when I hit play, we got separate channels activated. Then when that melody comes in, we're on channel 4. Right? And let's add some effects, because that's what these inserts are. Now, typically in effects, you want to send it out, but we're not going to do it that way. And again, each channel has an EQ, 3 bands. You can do what you want there, select your frequency. So let's add some reverb. You can click on this. You got your plugin options there, and even the other VST plugins that you might like. You got a delay bank, but I just want to use a reverb too. And then I right click in here to select large hall. So now we got this. Well, we don't want it that loud, so let's look at what we got here. So that may be too much. This represents dry to wet. Dry being the more of the original sound, and wet, you can mix it together like that and be done. Let's add delay. Delay 2. And let's add some more of that, see what happens. You can mix it. So that's a little bit of basics on sound we did. So basically, let's work our way back and do an overview of what we just talked about. We talked about the mixer, setting different instruments to different channels, adding effects, arranging the song, copying it, extending the length, getting notes into the step grid here for the pattern, understanding patterns, changing the labels and colors and adding little icons and graphics to stuff, and browsing samples and setting up a blank template, which again, file, new, empty. I don't need that. And boom, we're back to home base. So I hope this helps. Please like, comment, subscribe. I know this was a long play. This is a sit down video. I hope you're able to enjoy this while you're making beats or just something to listen to while you're working out. If you like this, if you'd like to see me talk about more about that, let me know in the comments. You basically will let me know if I should keep talking about FL Studio. If you like the videos and help my channel out, subscribe, comment, share it. If you do that, that'll kind of help me know if I should keep talking about this or I'll just go back to making tutorials on Maschine or whatever. But I do like talking about FL Studio. And I would like to get in more in depth. So I hope you like this. If you got any questions, let me know. And I'll sit down at the laptop again and crank out some more videos. So please make sure to check out DelioT2K.com, FL Studio. Check out Khemikals too. 92 presets available for you there on sale. Help a brother out. Good sounds for trap music, neo soul, R&B, and chord samples as well. So, all right. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care. Peace.
This video is sponsored by Khemikals, a preset library from Massive, including pads, leads, bass sounds, and more. Be sure to visit DelioT2K.com to hear it live and pick up your copy today.